Hello everyone. So today I have decided to do something pretty cool. I decided I wanted to bring, the Plantventions idea back into the Plantventions name. So I decided that I would want to create something that we could use to make more plant-themed items. So that specific thing is going to be sort of like plastic images that are similar to perlerbeads but are made from 3D printed materials. And you'll see what I mean based on the thumbnail. So if you clicked it, you already know what I'm talking about. But I'm just going to show you guys how I make them and, give you ideas for things that you can do with them. Okay, so here is what I'm talking about. These are the little 3D printed squares I have. I have them in the colors purple, red, and like a peach color. I pretty much just did this colorway because these are the only 3D printer filament colors I have, but you can really use anything. So this is what they look like. They're just really tiny squares, not perfectly printed, but good enough. And basically, I just take these squares and I arrange them in patterns like this, put them next to each other, similar to like pixel art. And you can do this to create different patterns and heat press them and make things with them. Okay, so here's the image that I drew for a basic outline of this design. So you see it has Plantventions right there. So I wanted to make a tulip. So here you can see the different colors that I used. I just used the colors that I have in the drawing to see the corresponding parts of that. So basically, these little squares, these little black squares, represent each of these little pieces. So I was originally going to make it to scale, but I didn't exactly do it because I feel like this is a simple enough design to kind of figure it out as I go. So that's just what it is. It's a tulip. Just a very simple design for kind of a starter thing to do. This is a picture of what it will look like when it's heat pressed. You won't be able to see as many seams and it'll be kind of, less seamless. But I did say that it won't have any black marks, so it won't have any outlines. And this is why I'm making it, because I want to be able to make some sheets. And then eventually I want to figure out a way to be able to make plant pots so I can, house the various plants that I have. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some tape and we're going to lay it on the table just in strips. And we're going to make a sheet of masking tape. And the reason we're doing this is so that our tiles have something to stick to. So we're going to peel it up and then flip it, and then we're going to tape the edges so that the tape is held down, but the middle side, like the middle of the tape, is still sticky to hold the tiles, but the whole thing is held to the table. So we're going to look at our picture and, see everything we have, and we're basically just going to start creating the picture. So we're going to start with red. We're just going to be lining the tiles in the shape of the tulip. So you can see me starting with the little, I don't know what they're called, but the bits on the top. And I pretty much just start adding them. This is sped up, by the way, if you couldn't tell. But I'm pretty much just adding them. This took not too long, but I'm just making them in the shape of the design, roughly. It's not exactly to scale, but that's pretty much what I'm doing. Okay, so the next thing I'm doing is doing the purple parts. So I'm doing the stem, but I had to kind of alter the design a little bit because I didn't really have enough space to make this original stem design. So I had to make the second stem higher than the first stem, if that makes any sense. You'll see based on the picture when I show you. So it's slightly different, but it's basically the same thing. Okay, so next we are going to do the peach part, and this is just going to be the background of the thing in general. So I'm pretty much just taking anything that's not filled in or anything that's empty and filling it in with the peach, and then making sure that when I'm done with the design, all the edges have peach. There's no purple or red on the outside of the design to kind of make it the whole thing encased and to make it look more complete. So this was the most time-consuming part. This has been sped up a lot, 8 times I think, but when I first did this part, it took me 10 or 15 minutes to get it. You can see it because this is sped up incredibly fast, but it still took a second. So you can just see me kind of rearranging the pieces to make sure that everything fits together, because some of them were kind of wonky. But I did notice that if there's a few little gaps, that's okay, because when I heat press it, it'll kind of all come together and it'll be fine. So I just continued adding the pieces around the border, and I just made sure that everything was fitting well and everything looked nicely. And then I did the last little bit of it, got a bit of a close-up view just to kind of change the angle, because I've been doing this part for kind of a while and I didn't want you guys to get bored of it. Okay, so now what I'm going to be doing is just showing you guys how it looks, and then I'm heating up my heat press 400 degrees for 45 seconds. That's what I decided to do. And next I'm going to take my Teflon sheets. These are kind of just reusable parchment paper, basically, and I'm using them so that I don't get melted plastic on the actual part of my heat press, like the hot part. Like, you know, you have an iron and you have the hot part of the iron. I don't want plastic directly stuck to that, so I'm using the sheets, the barrier between that. And then I'm just doing the first press, just holding it. The first press I did for 20 seconds, I think, around 20 seconds. Sped up again, but that's pretty much how long I did it. And for this first press, I kind of did it along with you guys. Lifted it off, then I had to wait like 5 minutes for it to cool. So once I waited for it to cool, I came back and it was time to peel it. So I peeled it, and this is our first reveal. You can see there's still some holes and gaps and stuff, but it still looks pretty good. So because of this, I decided to go ahead and press it again. So pretty much the exact same routine as I did the first time, just pressing it and then revealing it again. So I'm just taking it out, revealing it, and you can see just how much more together it is and just how good it looks. So now I'm peeling off the tape on the back, and you'll see kind of how it looks with the squares attached, but you can still see them individually. And I wanted to ask you guys how you like how that looks, because I think I like how it looks. The only thing about it is the structural integrity isn't that good if the whole thing isn't melted together, which is pretty much why I didn't keep it like that, because I prefer how it looks like that, but I just didn't want to keep it. So I pressed this side, and this was the first press for the side, and I peeled it, did a reveal, and as you can see, there is slightly just a little bit of, you know, stuff that's not pressed yet. So I pressed it again, did another reveal, and this time you could see that everything was all nice and put together, and that this is our completed press. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you stay tuned for me making a plant pots in the future. Have a good day. Bye.